After winning 5 of 9 on the road, the Twins return home. A 10-game homestand starts tonight with the first of 3 against the 4-time defending division champion Detroit Tigers. Our DirecTV American League wild card standings show you that the Twins are very much alive. The Tigers nowhere to be found. Minnesota a game back of Texas in the race for the final playoff spot in the American League. This series tonight opens with Lobstein on the mound for Detroit. Tyler Duffy on the mound for Minnesota. Duffy, beaten by Toronto in his big league debut, has been very good since. In his last 5 starts, 2-0 with an ERA of just 2.67. I'm Anthony LaPanta at Target Field on a beautiful night for baseball in downtown Minneapolis as the Twins try to continue their push to their first playoff spot since 2010. The wild card race is heating up, and there are still several teams very much alive that are starting important series tonight. The Rangers open a 4-game series against the Astros. In fact, those teams will play 7 times head-to-head between here and the finish. The Rangers are just a game and a half behind Houston in the West. Minnesota opens a 10-game homestand with the first of 3 against Detroit. The Twins on pace for 50 wins at home for just the 5th time since 1991. The Angels open a 10-game road trip with a series in Seattle. The Angels will close their regular season with a battle against the Rangers. And Cleveland is still on the outside, but on the edge and still in contention. They've won 10 of their last 15. They open a very important 4-game series against the first-place Royals. Up next, Dick Bramer and Bert Blyleven will break down tonight's starting pitcher, Tyler Duffy. How does he match up with the Tigers here in Minneapolis?
Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Dodge. Keep summer performing with great deals now during the Dodge Labor Day sales event. Get a much needed shot in the arm from the rookie. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Duffy. Oh, what a catch! Tyler Duffy. Curveball with a breaking ball in the dirt. And tonight, as the Twins open up a 10-game homestand, it'll be rookie Tyler Duffy starting the game for the Twins, hoping to get them closer to a potential playoff spot. Gorgeous weather here at Target Field. Glad you're with us for Twins baseball. And look who's back. Bert Blyleven and Dick Bramer with you for the opening game of this 3-game series. One of the things that makes this playoff run by the Twins so improbable is all the rookies on the roster, including their starting pitcher tonight, Tyler Duffy.
Yeah, Tyler Duffy got moved back a day. He was supposed to pitch yesterday in Chicago, but he is on the mound here tonight. And boy, I tell you what, the last 5 starts, Twins are 4-1 in his 5 starts. They need a win here tonight. What a great experience for this young man, getting the opportunity to help your team get the postseason. That's what the game of baseball is all about. Tyler Duffy's going to do his best here tonight.
For all intents and purposes, the Twins are already in the postseason. Every game so critically important. 20 games left, and the Twins are blanking a September push to get back to October. Reunited with a new sense of hope, all bonded by a common goal, the postseason. In a sport where round trippers are glamorous, but round numbers a constant symbol of success, 20, 30, 40 home runs, a 300 batting average, 100 RBI, 10 wins, 30 saves. Tonight, the number in focus is 20. 20 games remain in the push for that postseason goal. The bond between this team, its players, and you, the fans, strengthens tonight as the Twins return home. The journey ahead is clear. What will happen? Well, that's the fun part. That's yet to be decided. We wanted this. We wanted meaningful games in September, and boy, do we have them. Rookies, veterans alike, they've bonded to form a very interesting baseball team that has some ground to make up in the hopes that they'll be, after a 4-year absence, back in the postseason.
You know, there's so many years that I played, Dick, 22 years, and there's maybe a handful of times that you get this opportunity to get in the postseason, and this is the exciting time. And with only 20 games led by Paul Molitor and his staff, hopefully they can get there.
And the Tigers have found out what the Twins found out 4 years ago. When the window closes, it slams shut. There's no slide gradually down to the bottom of the standings. And of course, Ausmus's job is very much in doubt for next year. Here's the Menards batting order for the opening game of this 3-game series. Anthony Goes will lead things off. Ian Kinsler, Miguel Cabrera, J.D. Martinez, Victor Martinez, Nick Castellanos, Stephen Moya, James McCann, and Andrew Romine.
And making his 7th major league start, 24-year-old Tyler Duffey making his first career start against the Tigers. 3 of his first 6 starts, quality starts, and that's what Twins are looking for out of Tyler here tonight.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Aaron Hicks in left, Byron Buxton in center, Torrey Hunter in right. Kloof, Escobar, Dozier, Mauer the infielders, and it would take probably an act of God to get Kurt Suzuki out from behind the plate at this point. Off the outside corner, ball 1.
If you've not seen Duffey pitch before, fastball, 4-seamer and a 2-seamer. He'll get some ground ball double plays, 5 double plays turned behind him in his first 6 starts. Good curveball, but get ahead with the fastball, and he falls behind early.
2-0 to goes. Kinsler, Cabrera will follow. Tigers getting their first look at Duffey, who was coming off what would have been a signature win in his big league career, even if he pitched another 15 years. Strike called in the outside corner. He was brilliant against the Astros. That was the one game on the road trip that got away from the Twins. And Duffey pitching in front of his hometown fans and then family, of course.
Yeah, grew up in Houston, went to Rice University out of Houston.
3-1 to the leadoff man, Anthony Goes, who's not the type of guy you want to put on with a walk.
Yeah, the 8 strikeouts right there, that tied a career high. He had 8 against the Baltimore Orioles in Baltimore. It's a leadoff walk to Goes, who has 20 of the 74 stolen bases for the Tigers.
And that's been one of Duffy's issues in this his rookie season. Control, at times it's gotten away from him. Goes with a chance to steal second base here. Ian Kinsler, along with Miguel Cabrera, 2 veterans in this Tiger lineup, who have not let the team's failures affect them at all.
Yeah, see the numbers of Kinsler, very good average, hitting .303 in his 2nd season with the Tigers. 4-time All-Star, 3 times with the Texas Rangers, and then last year made the All-Star team for the Tigers.
1-0 now to Kinsler. 6 pitches, just 1 strike for Duffey. Popped up, back and out of play.
Duffey pretty quick home. There has not been a stolen base attempt against him yet in his first 6 major league starts.
And he's gotten 5 ground ball double plays. Good to have you back, partner. I trust that your final vacation during the season is enough to get you.
I came back with a lot of enthusiasm. Believe me, this is fun time of the year, especially what we went through the last 4 years.
Off the plate now, 2-1. Rocky start here for Duffey, who is pitching tonight on a couple of extra days rest. The Twins from here forward will probably go series by series, and slotting in the likes of Duffey and Pelfrey and guys like that. 2-1, and there's a breaking ball over.
Every game so important, but also another game tomorrow very important for Phil Hughes to get back into that rotation. Twins need to see a good Phil Hughes over the last 3 or 4 starts he may have. There's Phil.
2-2. And a throw to first. Goes, dives back.
Goes 20 stolen bases in 30 attempts. Tigers have stolen 74 bases. They have been caught 45 times. Kinsler, you can see he stands right close to home plate.
And now 3-2 on a breaking ball in the dirt. 10 pitches, 3 strikes for Duffey.
You know, a lot of people have talked about Duffy's curveball, but I have watched on TV when I have not, been with you, Dick, on the air. But sometimes he gets underneath that curveball, and, it kind of comes and goes for him. Again, 8 strikeouts in his last start against the Astros.
Full count. Likely that Goes will be taking off here.
It's to throw a strike here.
Goes, and the pitch popped up. Goes watching it all the way. Will backpedal toward first. And an out. First out of the inning, and that'll bring up Cabrera. Some who think in Detroit that the Tigers never really recovered after Brian Dozier's dramatic walk-off home run here right before the All-Star break. Got off to a good start. The Twins were victimized by the Tigers. The starting pitching has been bad. Miguel Cabrera has been hurt. Victor Martinez has not been 100% because of the late June or July swoon. David Price was traded. Dave Dombrowski released. He's now with the Red Sox. And in a very short period of time, the Tigers have gone from contenders to rebuilders.
Hey, who would have thought going into the season, because of the way the Tigers did what they did against the Twins in that first 3 games. But, you know, Joe Nathan picked up a save. Then he went down with a second. Tommy John. Soria ended up getting traded. Cespedes to the Mets. A lot of changes.
Now, the last time the Tigers were here, the Tigers won the first game of the 4-game series. We're 3 games above the 500 mark. And the Twins scored 7 times in the 9th inning. Dozier clubbing a 3-run home run. And it's all fallen apart for the Tigers ever since. Here's Cabrera. And Suzuki with a block. He'll throw to second. And Dozier couldn't handle the one-hop throw, and Goes is in safely.
Yeah, Brian just couldn't get that one-hop throw. He kind of fought it in his chest area, and don't know if he ever got it really in his glove until it was too late.
Paul Molitor stepping out of the dugout. Twins contemplating a challenge.
It'll be a wild pitch charge. You see Brian right there trying to get the ball in his glove, and I think by the time he did make the tag on Goes able to get that left hand on the bag. So it'll be, I believe, a wild pitch charged to Duffy. That'll be his first wild pitch of the year.
A walk, a wild pitch, 1 down. And the pitch, or the count, 1-0 to Cabrera. And Duffy just doesn't look like he's found his release point yet.
Watch the curveball right here. I asked to show the last pitch. He gets underneath it. And what I mean underneath, you get with your palm, you get underneath it. See, it flattens out rather than getting on top and creating that drop type of thinking on your curveball, where it's from 12 to 6 rather than, say, you know, from 10 to 4 type break.
Okay. 3-0 now to Cabrera. First base now open, and Victor Martinez, JD Martinez on deck.
Saw the numbers on Cabrera. He's trying to win his 4th American League batting title. Won it in 2011, 12, 13. Hitting at .341.
There's a strike on the outside corner.
2 good fastballs, outer half of the plate. Now, do you send a message right here to the Detroit Tigers? Can I get that curveball that he's been struggling with over on 3-2? You know, Cabrera probably looking fastball away. He uses the whole field, and he missed down and in.
And so a pair of walks early in Tyler Duffy's evening, and JD Martinez will hit next. Twins start the day, a game behind the Texas Rangers, opening up a big 4-game series with the Houston Astros. And Houston has a quick 1-0 lead on a Jose Altuve home run.
Look at those numbers right there by JD Martinez.
That's the thing. As many problems as the Tigers have, they still have a very formidable lineup. And JD Martinez replacing Victor Martinez as their cleanup hitter, and Duffy gets ahead of JD.
Yeah, offensively, the Tigers hitting .272 as a team. They are leading the American League in that department. Kansas City hitting .271 as a team. So average-wise, yes, they still have potential.
And the ball hit to right field, and Hunter is able to keep it in front of him. It'll be a base hit. The bases are loaded now for Victor Martinez. A line drive single to right, and Torrey had the ball land a few feet in front of his glove. Had he fielded that short hop, he might have had a play on Cabrera at second base.
Yeah, because both runners had to kind of hold right here. Martinez getting that fastball a little bit up, belt high, and Torrey comes in. Now goes at second base and Cabrera at third. Torrey able to get that in his glove. I believe you're right, Dick. He would have had maybe a force out at second.
Well, big spot here early for Tyler Duffy. He's walked a couple of men. He's given up a base hit, 1 out. And he needs to be careful with Victor Martinez.
Martinez really struggling as a left-handed hitter, hitting only .201.
Rounded into 15 double plays this year. And there is a breaking ball, strike 1. One strike to Victor Martinez, and a dribbler foul, 2 strikes. Despite his problems, Martinez remains a very difficult player to strike out.
Yeah, only 47 strikeouts he has struck out in 394 at bats. If Duffy can get him to hit it on the ground here.
0-2. On the ground, Dozier, Escobar, Mauer, a double play, and Duffy survives a wobbly first inning. Scathed. Menard's batting order for the Twins. Aaron Hicks in the leadoff spot in left field. Brian Dozier, Joe Mauer, Miguel Sano, Trevor Plouffe, Torrey Hunter, Eduardo Escobar, Kurt Suzuki, and Byron Buxton.
And for the second time this season, they will be facing left-handed pitcher Kyle Lobstein, making his 11th start of the year. He lost to the Twins in Detroit back on May 13th. Twins hit him around pretty good. 6 runs allowed. He threw the Twins in 2 2/3 innings. Lobstein, not an overpowering left-hander. Has to hit his spots, change speeds.
Hicks takes one down the middle, a strike. Tigers have the worst team ERA in baseball. Dribbled up the line. Check that. The Colorado Rockies have the worst, but the worst in the American League. Tigers with an ERA of 4.76. Justin Verlander's been hurt. He is back now and pitching very well. And as we discussed over the weekend, the Twins caught a break with all the rain in Cleveland. Verlander pitched yesterday. He was scheduled to pitch Wednesday here against the Twins. 0-2 to Hicks. Just off the corner. 1-2.
Aaron hitting .329 as a right-handed hitter. 6 of his 10 home runs as a right-handed hitter.
Popped up a foul ball that'll reach the seats. We were talking about this in Chicago. Roy Smalley and I we've talked a lot about Hicks and how he's improved from the left side, and that's very true. But he's also improved from the right side, which was his strong side all along. From the right side of the plate, he's got an on-base plus slugging percentage of over .950, which is outstanding. And he laces a base hit to right.
Good at bat right there.
Ball dropped in right field by J.D. Martinez, but Hicks is aboard with a leadoff single, and somewhere in the Twins dugout, Tom Brunansky is grinning.
Yeah, he just kind of put the barrel of the bat out there and hit it softly into right field.
Northland Ford defense for the Tigers. Stephen Moya is their left fielder tonight. Anthony goes in center. J.D. Martinez in right. Castellanos is at third. Jose Iglesias is hurt. He won't play in this series. Romine's at short. Kinsler's at second. Cabrera's at first. Brian McCann, one of the few bright spots for the Tigers this year. Already has established himself as one of the better catchers in the league. Dozier tries to bunt. It's a foul ball, 1 strike.
Castellanos playing back at third, so a good attempt right there by Brian Dozier trying to lay it down at third baseline.
You know, that's one area I think Paul Molitor is disappointed in. We see hitters do that, but unless or until you do it successfully, third basemen are going to continue to play back. You know, you need to beat them with a bunt in front several times before you're going to get them to react at all to the threat of a bunt.
You know, I think that's one thing I think Paul is really going to isolate on next year is the bunt. For a lot of the hitters, not only Brian, you know, I mean, he can bunt, but you want his power also. But a guy like Buxton and Hicks and the guys that can utilize their speed to get to first base, very, very important. It's a big part of their element.
1-1 to Dozier. It was Dozier's 3-run home run that certainly gave the Twins a big spark before the All-Star break, but it may in retrospect have sunk the Tigers. Tigers, since game 2 of that series, finished July 6-12. They had a losing August. They were 3 games above the 500 mark. Dozier off the end of the bat. In Houston, they're talking about Jed Lowry's home run yesterday, the big 3-run home run that snatched a victory away from defeat. That may be the big home run for the Astros. And of course, we'll look at Sano's home run in Kansas City too, the pinch hit home run. But what a dramatic home run it was for Dozier the last time the Tigers were here.
You get down to this time of the year and you're in the race, every at bat, every good hit could be the one that gets you in the postseason. Now, Lobstein making his 3rd start since coming off the disabled list. He spent almost 3 months on a disabled list with a bad left shoulder.
Cabrera faked a throw to the mound, trying to see if he can get Hicks to step off the base. 2-2 to Dozier. That's to right center field. It's hanging in the air for J.D. Martinez. And Hicks retreats to the bag. No chance to advance. 1 away. And that'll bring up Mauer.
I thought what you said about in pregame, Dick, about Joe Mauer, about the importance of Joe Mauer's presence and the way that he needs to be the next 20 games, very important. One of the guys that you mentioned, along with Torrey Hunter, that has postseason experience.
And that's basically where the Twins are. These are, for all intents and purposes, postseason games. You got to win every one. And if you don't play well in the next 3 weeks, you won't get to the postseason. Mauer takes inside. Can throws to first. In Mauer's case, you know, the numbers far more modest than anyone would want at this time of the year, hitting .268, 8 home runs, 60 runs batted in. But as Torrey Hunter proved yesterday, sometimes, and you see it more often from veteran players, they can step up and just take over a game. And it might be in just 1 or 2 at bats in a course of a game that dictate whether a team wins or loses. And now on the outside corner, 1-1.
I'll tell you what, as a former pitcher, and then we're going to have Kyle Gibson on next inning, the importance of what that 3-run home run did for Kyle and the ball club yesterday off of Chris Sale. That was a huge home run off the bat of Torrey Hunter.
1-1 to Mauer. Fouled away. You know, watching the game, and you just wondered whether that wasn't one of those moments where both teams said, here we go again. If you're Chris Sale and the White Sox and you've seen the Twins light up Sale all year long, oh, here we go again. But if you're in the Twins dugout, you're going, here we go again.
And remember, there was 2 outs when he hit that home run,
2 strikes.
Yep.
1-2 to Mauer. Up and in. Hicks bluffed toward second base, didn't like his jump.
McCann came up looking that he was going to throw to second. Obstein has struggled, especially against the Twins. This is his 3rd career start. You see Aaron Hicks, and saw McCann get up thinking that Aaron Hicks had taken off towards second base.
And that time Lobstein was just a little bit quicker to the plate. Hicks read that and aborted the stolen base attempt.
Lobstein does have 2 pickoffs this year, 3 stolen bases against him in 5 attempts. McCann, very good arm behind the plate. Lobstein, 26 years old. He's 0-2 in his career against the Twins with a 10.66 earned run average. So I guess those would be numbers that say he has struggled against the Twins. Actually made his major league debut last year against the Twins in that doubleheader we had here back in May. He ended up coming in relief, worked 5 2/3 innings, and the Twins win. And because of that outing, he was put into the rotation. But shoulder issues this year has set him back.
Breaking ball to left center field. Down for a hit. Hicks around second, on his way to third. The ball picked up by Moya, and they'll hold Hicks at third base on Mauer's double to left center field.
That's what the Twins want to see from Joe Mauer, is maybe not the home runs, is the extra base hits. 28th double of the year. Good piece of hitting. Looked like Lobstein left the ball up, and Joe, like he does so well, just takes that ball the other way. It's a hanging breaking ball. Nice at bat. Puts a couple runners in scoring position for Sano.
Pretty nice job by Moya to cut that ball off. If he had not gotten there, Hicks would have scored. But as it is, second and third, 1 out for Sano. A couple of hits for the Twins. A couple of opposite field hits. And we'll see what Sano gets done here. Taken down and away. Talked with Tom Bernansky today about Sano and the high number of strikeouts, and of course the Twins aren't going to tinker with Sano at all this year with what he's meant to the lineup, but the strikeout numbers are very high, just about half his at bats. Inside 2-0, hitting just under 300 against left-handed pitchers. And Tom brought up a good point, that they're less concerned at this point about when he gets 2 strikes, but it's the vicious swings he takes and fouls pitches back and misses to get to 2 strikes. Half swing there, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, good breaking ball down and in right there. Sano unable to hold up, but I think you were talking with Roy over the weekend about 93 strikeouts and 207 at bats, but it's the ones when he makes contact. 35 hits and 16 home runs.
2-1 to Sano. And 3-1 with Plouffe on deck.
And he has taken some walks. 39 walks for Sano.
57 hits for Sano on the year. And 29 extra base hits. And see what he does on this 3-1 pitch. Takes ball 4. We'll see more and more of that with first base open. And now, as the Tigers loaded the bases in the first inning with one out, the Twins will send their fifth place hitter up with the bases loaded.
Well, thinking grand slam right off the get-go. Trevor Plouffe has two of the three grand slams hit so far by the Twins this year. Eddie Rosario with the other.
Tom Bernansky talked about this situation in regards to Sano trying to drive in 4 runs instead of, and we've seen Trevor do this, go ahead if the pitch is away, get a base hit to right field, drive in 1 or 2 rather than getting greedy, and that just comes with time at bats. Strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, Trevor working very closely with Tom Bernansky on trying to cut down his swing a little bit. He felt he was almost too big a swing, just more of a jab type swing. See the ball, swing hard.
Off the plate with McCann setting up outside again. 1-1. With a first inning threat. It's been a very common occurrence over the last couple of weeks. And Plouffe lifts it high and deep to right field. Martinez going back, off the wall. Hicks scores. Mauer scoring. And Sano hobbles to third.
That is exactly what you were talking about, Dick. Don't try to pull that ball where you hit the grand slam. Take what the pitcher gives you.
Pay attention, as Plouffe did. The pitches were away. He looked at 2 of them and then hammered the third one.
You see McCann sitting away, an off-speed pitch. And Trevor just looking maybe a sacrifice fly, get the Twins on the board. Instead, strong enough to hit it over the head of Martinez, who's backpedaling right there. And then the ball hits off the wall and allows Hicks and Mauer to score.
See, the overhang may have caused Martinez to play it a little tentatively, but it's a 2-run double. And Sano only able to get third base. And now here comes Torrey Hunter. Sano seems fine, but the chances of him scoring from first on a double simply won't exist probably for the rest of this year, especially with 1 out. And now Hunter, who had one of those games yesterday, one of those at bats that when he's 80 years old, he'll look back and think back at that first inning at bat last night or yesterday and tell his, well, by then he'll have great grandkids, I suppose, but what a classic at bat it was, his 19th home run against Chris Sale.
And his 350th career home run for Torrey Hunter.
1-0 to the former Tiger. Crack foul. He fell behind 0-2. He fouled off 6 pitches. 4 2-strike pitches. Worked the count even. And then for all intents and purposes ended the game in the first inning, if that's possible.
Yeah, Torrey saying that Sale kept missing with that slider to make it 2-2 when he was ahead in the count. Came in with a fastball. Torrey was waiting for it.
Around the hands, and it's 2-1.
Little surprised that the Tigers, I know it's in the first inning, but are playing the middle of the infield back. I think they try to cut down Sano here at home.
Maybe understanding he doesn't run well, they figure they're, for Sano right now, this is playing the infield in. Well, snap bat. Sano's going to come home.
Right.
And Hunter's going to reach first base with Cabrera taking the ground ball away from Kinsler.
Well, it's your responsibility as a pitcher to get over there, and Lopstein was not there. You want your first baseman to be aggressive. Go after the ball. And Torrey got jammed right there, but Lopstein did not cover first base. Watch where this pitch is inside. Torrey just fought it off. And with the infield in, you can see the crack of the bat. Gets Torrey an RBI. his 70th of the year. So Lobstein right there. By the time he reacted, Torrey was already by him.
Lobstein hurt earlier this year. His rehab starts in the minor leagues didn't go particularly well, and very rough start here. Here is Escobar, first and third, still only one out in the inning. And a strike that covers the inside corner.
Lobstein making his 11th start. His shortest start of the year came back in May against the Twins in Detroit, where he worked 2 1/3 innings. Gave up 6 runs on 7 hits.
Sliced foul, 0-2. To Brad Ausmus, Jeff Jones, the pitching coach, it must seem like longer ago than 2 years when they had a rotation that included Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, Doug Fister, and Anibal Sanchez. That was just 2 years ago.
And don't forget Rick Porcello, too.
Rick Porcello. 2 strikes to Escobar, trying to get Plouffe in from third. Called third strike. And Escobar thought it was inside. Has some words with Chris Conroy. 2 down.
Well, a big strikeout right there for Lobstein. And it's not a strikeout pitcher. His 29th strikeout, 59 innings pitched. But he goes to a fastball inside. McCann held it right there, and he got the call.
Here is Suzuki. And a throw to first to keep the 40-year-old Hunter honest. Kyle Ryan was skipped from the rotation in this series. Might get to pitch here after all. Up and away.
Lobstein originally signing with the Tampa Bay Rays back in 2008. I talked to Neil Allen about Lobstein. He had him in the minor leagues. Said he reminded him a lot of Tommy Malone. Doesn't have Malone's changeup, but not overpowering. Has to hit his spots. There's a good changeup there.
Tickles the outside corner, 1-1.
A pitcher that pitches to contact.
I remember those guys. We've had a lot of those over the years. One and one to Suzuki.
Here we go, baby. Good line drive right here.
3 on the board for the Twins. They had a runner at third with less than 2 out. Didn't get him in. At least not yet. Hunter with his 70th run batted in on his infield hit. Up high, 2-1.
A third straight game the Twins have seen a starting left-handed pitcher start the ball game. Quintana, Sale, now Lobstein.
That's to short center and down for a hit. A 2-out single for Suzuki, and it's a 4-0 Twins lead.
Well, he fought off another pitch that was up in the zone, and Suzuki drives in his 45th run. Good 2-out hitting right there by Kurt. Tried to come inside, but Kurt opening up as Torrey Hunter did. A little quicker with that bat. And hits it into short left center.
Twins with 5 hits, 4 runs in the inning, and none of the hits have been pulled. First 3 hits went to the opposite field. I get Technically, so did Hunters. He just kind of pushed a ball to the right side on the infield, and that ball lobbed softly into center. Here's Buxton. Pulled foul, 1 strike. And one would think this would be the last guy for Lobstein to get if he wants to survive the first inning. Twins have batted around here, scoring 4 times. Tyler Duffy handed the same fate that Kyle Gibson had yesterday. A 4-0 lead early.
See the pitch count of 35 pitches.
1 strike to Buxton. Foul back, 2 strikes. This will be the 37th pitch of the first inning for Lobstein. Yesterday, veteran Randy Wolf started for the Tigers, threw 50 pitches in the first inning. And if they call the balk, they have. You can hear the attention grabbing shouts from the Twins dugout as Lobstein tried to step off, but something he did before he stepped off resulted in a balk.
Maybe brought the ball up toward his glove. Take a look right here.
Right
there. Yep. He flinched.
So now a hit to the outfield might score 2 more. And Buxton just got a piece of something that's 79 miles per hour.
Lobstein making just his 17th career start. He has 4 major league wins, 9 losses, an ERA just under 5.
Another 0-2 to Buxton. And he takes ball 1. Hicks started the inning with an opposite field single. Bauer with an opposite field double. Plouffe with an opposite field double. Hunter with an opposite field infield hit. Suzuki with his soft liner to center. And now 1-2 to Buxton. Popped up, should end the inning. Cabrera comes in. The Twins bat around in the first inning of this 10-game homestand. And they scored 4 times. Kyle Gibson had a 4-0 lead yesterday before he threw his first pitch. He'll join us from the dugout next. Who had that 4-0 lead before he threw his first pitch. And Kyle, after picking up his 10th win of the year, nice enough to join us from the dugout. Kyle, you had a great ball game yesterday, and we always look for pitchers in particular to have a bit of a second win come September. How do you feel physically after you get pelted by sunflower seeds?
I feel pretty good. Even though it was one of the longer games of the year, You know, I was talking to Pelfrey last year, you know, going into September, and one thing that he said is, hey, each September that you go through, it's going to get easier and easier. And this year, it's definitely, I can feel a difference, arm-wise especially, how I feel, you know, 2 weeks into the month. So it's been pretty good so far.
Let me ask you, Kyle, when you go out, okay, Tyler Duffy, we showed him in the dugout trying to keep his arm loose. Okay, yesterday you had the same situation. Torrey Hunter hit the big 3-run home run. You go out for the second inning. Because sometimes you sit in that dugout for a while, or do the umpires allow you to take some extra throws?
Well, you know what? Last year I would say yes for sure. This year you have the clock, so it's a little bit harder. Normally what I try to do is I just try to make sure I'm ready as soon as the clock starts so that I can get out there. Normally if it's a normal time inning, I'm out there and starting to throw by, you know, a minute 50, minute 55 on the clock. But if I know it's been a long inning, then I try to get out there 2:15, you know, right away, so it gives me a couple extra pitches. And
you can take extra pitches, and Duffy, big curveball right there, picks up his first strikeout. But okay, like Duffy today, 4-run lead. You had the same situation yesterday. How important is it to a pitcher, especially a starter, when you get early run support?
Very important. That was one thing I talked about a little bit yesterday in postgame is, man, it makes it a world of difference when you can go out there and not worry about a solo homer tying the game or giving up the lead. So having a 4-run cushion, you can go out there and attack the zone early with fastballs, you know, more middle really. And if it's a double, it's a double. But you know that 2 batters really aren't going to cost you the game in that situation. So it just gives you a little bit more comfort, a little bit more ability to use that fastball early and be aggressive in the zone like that.
And you were, because watching the ball game, I was not in Chicago. I was down in Fort Myers, Florida. But watching the ball game, you did attack early. Your strikeouts really didn't come until the 5th, 6th, or 7th inning.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what you. It's not what you have to do, but that's kind of what I like to do. If you get early runs, I just had a seat.
Good one.
Wow, that was a good shot. I try to get those strikeouts later and use that next inning after a bunch of runs to hopefully get a quick inning. You want to get quick contact and you want to get back in the dugout so that your offense can keep that momentum going. Baseball's a very momentous game, so you get that offense back in there when they're feeling good things can happen.
And how important, we're going to show some highlights from your game yesterday, Kyle, but how important is it what Duffy's doing right here and what you were able to do yesterday after you get that run, the 4 runs, go out and shut the door the next inning?
Yeah, shutdown innings are something that they talk to us. I learned about them in college, and they talk to us about them in the minor leagues as well. As your team goes up and puts up 1 run, 4 runs, whatever it is, go out there and put up a 0 and get them back in the dugout as quick as possible so that you can keep that momentum.
Yeah, we showed some highlights of you. You had a very good changeup yesterday.
Yeah, that changeup was early on. I could kind of feel. I was just telling Dozier about it today, or not Dozier, Nate Diamond, our bullpen catcher. Early on when I faced Trace Thompson, the one that I struck him out on, there was just something weird. I could feel it coming out of my hand. And I wouldn't say a whole lot different than normal, but I could tell that I had really good arm speed and then it was coming out well. So not to say that I knew it was going to be a good pitch all day long, but on that one especially, I had a pretty good feel for it, and thankfully I was able to keep that feeling.
That's that power of positive thinking you had going into the ball game too.
Yeah, well, I want to say last time against the White Sox, a couple spiked changeups cost me a couple runs. So good thing I had that good feeling and kept him out from in front of home plate.
1-2 the count to James McCann. Duffy has found command of his breaking ball here in the second inning. Couple of strikeouts already. And a called 3rd strike. He strikes out the side. Duffy's improved his control on the mound while Mike Pelfrey's control all over the place. Targeting Kyle Gibson.
Thank you, Kyle Gibson.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Returned home here after a pretty good road trip, and they sit in a very good position in the wild card chase. Today, Joe Mauer said the games the team has been playing lately just feel different. He said especially KC and Houston, they feel different than the games of April or May. He said, I can't wait to see what it's going to be like when we get home. Well, now they are home. Brian Dozier said, I have to be honest with you, the fans around here have not had a lot to cheer about, especially late in the season. So Dozier said this should be really good for them. I think we're going to have some good crowds. The vibe should be pretty exciting. And Dick and Bert, if the attention is any indication, especially from the media, that clubhouse was packed tonight. Everyone was excited to see this team coming home in this situation in mid-September.
Well, thank you, Marty. I think even the members of the media have been waiting for this. These games very relevant, very important. Rather than playing out the string, the Twins are playing for something. They are not in control of their own destiny. They are a game behind the Texas Rangers. And Hicks waves at strike 3, 1 down.
Lobstein picking up his second strikeout, 3 straight curveballs, and then the changeup down and away. He gets his second strikeout.
Tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by the Silver Bullet. Clean, crisp Coors Light. The fewest quality starts in the American League this year. Who would have thought the Tigers would be on that chart? That's what we call those things, right? Charts?
Yep. What's amazing is the Royals are ahead of them.
Yeah, and I think that still, as we said when we were in Kansas City, that remains to me a very ominous thing for the Royals as they hope to get back to the World Series. You imagine them if they...
It could be the kind of series like last year that I think the relievers were more important in the World Series than any of the starters.
Yeah, Bumgarner was the only starter who really pitched well for either team, and he ended up winning the game out of the bullpen.
Right.
1 strike to Dozier, inside a ball. The Royals are trailing the Indians 4-1 in Cleveland. If the Royals win and the Tigers lose, the Tigers will already be eliminated mathematically from something they've collected 4 straight years in a row, division championship. 2-1, Dozier. Popped up, backing out of play.
Well, I've been on many teams where this time of the year, Dick, you are the spoiler. That's all the Tigers have to look at right now is, well, they want to have something to say as the season winds down. You don't quit playing the game because you're eliminated. You want to hopefully not help somebody else, but you want to beat the team that you're facing that day.
But it has to be the toughest challenge to do that when so much was expected of you as a team. And a good catch
nice
by a
catch.
fan with a glove right in front of us.
A nice Rawlings glove.
Two and two. And another one fouled back and out of play. I don't know if you saw the game in Kansas City where a foul ball like that came into the Kansas City booth.
Yep, and Danny missed it.
Yeah. What'd you think? I mean, he's one of your left fielders.
It didn't surprise me.
2-2. And off the plate, 3-2.
I don't think Lobstein has thrown a fastball here yet this inning. Everything's been off-speed pitches. A tough first inning, 39 pitches for Lobstein.
And he takes ball 4. We were talking in the open about the inexperienced Twins. On any given night, there might be 3 rookies in the starting lineup, a rookie on the mound. We tend to forget Trevor May is a rookie, and he's a key guy in the 8th inning. Among position players today, only Mauer, Hunter, and Suzuki one time have been in the playoffs. And there's nobody on the bench. I guess Nunez with the Yankees was a bench player in the playoffs. Mauer with an opposite field double his last time up.
It's hard to explain what it feels like, Dick, because I know when I came up in 1970, I was 19 years old, and I got the postseason. I got the opportunity to get into September and get into postseason. Of course, we played the Orioles, and they swept us. But just the experience right there, what, say, Duffy's going through, or any of these guys for the first time, oh, that's exciting. That's why you play the game.
Lobstein pitching this inning in the mid-70s. One off-speed pitch after another. Fouled away. Shane Robinson, too, with the Cardinals. Some postseason experience. But among the regular players, if the Twins were to get to the wild card game, who's going to be in there in the starting lineup? You're looking at Mauer and Hunter, and 1 year, Kurt Suzuki. Two strikes to Mauer. He had a two-strike pitch to the gap in left center for a double. Dozier with 11 steals and 15 tries. Mauer to right field, down for a hit. Dozier will hold up at second base. So Mauer 2 for 2. And the Twins building another threat here in the second inning. You can establish 2015 postseason priority by placing a deposit for 2016 season tickets. Don't miss an inning of postseason play and experience exclusive sweet spot benefits like 10% off food and beverage here at Target Field. For more info or to place a deposit, call 612-375-7454 or visit twinsbaseball.com/season tickets today.
Boy, Dick, you know, in that first inning, Torrey Hunter got a ball in that he kind of broke his bat, got the infield base hit because Lobstein didn't cover first, and then Suzuki's ball inside fought it off right there. Joe Mauer fought off a fastball in that he fought off. So I think Lobstein's making some pitches, but he doesn't have that little extra velocity to maybe, you know, make him pop it up.
Ball one to Sano.
Twins have hit a couple bleeders here.
And Sano takes ball two.
He's walking a tightrope right now. Lobstein is. Ryan up again in the bullpen. 56 pitches.
Seems inevitable that we're going to see Ryan pretty soon. There's a strike. It's a good take, though. It's a pitch down and away, and Sano probably pretty confident at this point he'll get something better to hit in this at bat than the one that Lobstein just threw down and away.
Yeah, the Twins have hit some bloopers. Now they need the blast right here.
Missing inside 3-1. And Lobstein's one pitch away from reloading the bases for Plouffe. Off the middle and through, a base hit. Dozier around third. He's coming in. Here comes the throw from Goes all the way through. Mauer to second base, and Sano drives in another run with a single.
Right. Didn't try to do too much. Good hitting right there. Didn't try to yank the ball out of the ballpark. Got a pitch down and hit it right back up the middle. RBI number 45 on the year for Sano, as Dozier scores again for the Twins.
Lobstein's going to be taken out by Brad Ausmus. A pitch up and away, and Sano whistled it right up the middle.
Yep. Keep those hands back nicely. The bat going right through up the middle. And the Twins take a 5-0 lead.
Lobstein faced 13 batters, 8 of them got hits. He also walked a man, and he comes out with the Twins up. Ryan coming in. In the 5th run already, and with 4 outs on the board, the Twins get into the Achilles heel for the Detroit Tigers, their bullpen.
Yeah, the bullpen has been struggling. Now Kyle Ryan coming out of the bullpen, he's just 23 years old. 4 different stints this season, up and down between AAA Toledo and the big leagues. Recalled on September 1st, making his 13th appearance. He made 5 starts for the Tigers, 2-3 in ERA at 5.72.
Here's Plouffe. Drove a double off the right field fence to drive in the first 2 runs of the game. Now inside 2-0. We'll try as best we can to distinguish, and I'll rely on you for this, to distinguish Ryan from Lobstein. They're both left-handed. Neither one is overpowering stuff. So we're going to rely on your 22-year big league career.
Yeah, actually Ryan has a little better fastball. He'll get in the low 90s. There's a fastball right there at 88, but he's got a little bigger breaking ball and a changeup.
3-0 with Hunter on deck. And a strike. A generous call from Chris Conroy. Lobstein got through the first inning, but he might have gotten a generous call from Conroy to finish the Escobar at bat in that first inning. And now strike 2. One out, a full count, couple of men on base, one already in. The Twins have 3 straight singles after the first out of the second inning. Fouled back. Plouffe with the 2-run double continues to lead the team in runs batted in with 79. Torrey Hunter has 70. Brian Dozier has 70. And Plouffe takes a walk to load him up. And that'll bring up Hunter.
Well, for Ryan, that's his 16th walk in 39 1/3 innings.
Torrey Hunter today was named the Twins nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award, which honors community service. Miguel Cabrera named the Tiger candidate. Hunter with an RBI single, his first time up, an infield hit. And he takes strike one on the outside corner. Jam shot a foul off his leg, and it's 2 straight.
Yeah, just watching Ryan, he's got a little bit of Chris Sale in him where he steps across his body kind of 3/4. Of course, doesn't have Chris Sale's fastball or nasty
slider or the changeup.
Ryan at 6'5", about 180 pounds. They have him listed in the media guide at.
And 84-mile-per-hour breaking ball strikes out Hunter. 2 down, and that'll bring up Escobar.
And Terry swinging over the top of that slider. And Ryan picking up his 23rd strikeout in 39 2/3 innings.
Escobar was called out on strikes on a pitch that he, at the time, and I'm sure still does, think was inside. Strikeout of Hicks to start the inning, then 3 singles, a walk, a strikeout of Hunter, and a chance for Escobar to break it wide open here in the 2nd inning. That's to right field, down for a hit. Mauer will score. Sano, of course, held at 3rd, and Escobar with an RBI single, and it's 6-0.
Yeah, he didn't waste any time. He jumped on that first pitch and hit it softly in front of Martinez, picking up his 49th RBI.
And again to the opposite field.
Good piece of hitting right there. Down and in. And Eduardo just dropping where he likes the ball from either left or the right side. He likes that ball down.
Suzuki singled in a run in the 1st inning. Didn't hit it hard, but punched a soft liner up the middle. Strike over the inside corner. The Tiger ERA is not going to go down tonight. Already 6 earned runs, 8 hits. Inside, 1-1. So far tonight, the Twins hitters are 8 for 14 with 2 walks. Excuse me, 8 for 13, 9 for 14. Scoreboard up there has 8 hits. I have them for 9, right? 4 this inning and 5 in the 1st inning. On the ground, Romine has it, and the 4th play at 2nd ends the inning. Twins with 4 hits, a couple more runs. Everybody's having fun in the home uniforms as the Twins are pounding the Tigers. formidable lineup, but boy, if you don't have pitching, as we've discovered over the last 4 years here in Minnesota, you really don't have much of a chance.
No, you don't. And you know, that's what it comes down to. Yeah, you can have all the offense in the world, but the Tigers right now have to come back up with 7 runs to even get back into this ball game. So yeah, the starting staff for the Tigers have really struggled. The bullpen has been an ugly year on that category for the Tigers.
Andrew Romine will lead off the third against Tyler Duffy, who was all over the place in the first inning, but he threw a lot of strikes. In fact, he struck out all 3 batters in the second
on 12 pitches. So a good second inning for Duffy.
Inside 1-1. I told you before the game, when I was in Chicago, I went through the 30 teams, and based on what I've read, what I've heard, I came up with a list of managers who were on the hot seat. Mauer backhands it. The ball came up to him a little bit. Duffy on the bag, 1 away. I came up with 9 managers who, if they do survive at all, it'll be with some speculation from here on out, and Brad Ausmus might be even at the top of that list. And then you look at the stats, the team stats, and lo and behold, the teams that are in the bottom half of both leagues in the pitching department are the teams whose managers are in the hot seat.
You know, Brad Ausmus can put names out there, but it's the players that have to perform. And sad to say, for Brad Ausmus's case, they have not performed. Injuries have been a big part.
Anthony Goes drew a walk. And as comfortable as this lead feels right now, 6-0, let's remember that in the first inning, the Tigers had the bases loaded, 1 out. And Tyler Duffy wasn't exactly commanding the strike zone. And he got Victor Martinez to hit into a ground ball double play. And that set up what eventually became a 4-run first inning. But there was a definite crossroads in this game before the Twins even swung the bat. Goes had walked. He made it as far as third base.
Duffy threw him 3 curveballs, 2 for the first strikes, and then got the curveball and the ground ball double play off of Victor Martinez.
Now to Dozier. 3 hops. And a quick release to Mauer, 2 down.
And what I have seen from Duffy, it's a good tight curveball, but he also changes speeds on it. He'll add and subtract on that curveball, but he knows as well as any pitcher, everything keys off the fastball. Get ahead and then work in that nasty breaking ball.
Kinsler hit a pop up to Escobar for the first out of that first inning. Missing down and in.
Well, you can see the percentages, almost 60% fastballs, and then you work ahead of that fastball, then you throw that curveball, and then not too many changeups. But again, he changes off his curveball too. Good fastball there to even the count.
It seemed to you that he had terrible command of his fastball, and eventually what got him into the strike zone was the curve through that second inning. Ball hit to right, Hunter over, and a running catch for out number 3.
Need good defense too, and we got it right there by Troy Hunter.
by NorthlandFord.com and your local Northland Ford dealer. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. Good start to this 10-game homestand. A 4-run first, 9 men batted. A 2-run second, 8 men batted. Byron Buxton will lead off the third with the Twins leading 6-0. Twins jumped out early yesterday in the game, leading Chris Sale and the White Sox 7-0 early. There's strike one to Buxton. Ryan came in, walked the first man he faced, gave up an RBI single that run, and the other 5 charged to the starter, Kyle Lobstein. Buxton takes strike 2. Twins would love to get Buxton going. It would be an intriguing postseason entrant if Buxton can just hit a little bit. And over to first. Buxton taps out to the mound. 1 down. We'll bring up Hicks. Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag NorthDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. 1 down. Here's Hicks.
I'm going to go back to that at bat that Hicks had against Lobstein, Dick, where that 2-strike pitch, outer half of the plate, he just kind of went with it. That kind of set the tone of a lot of balls hit the other way off the Twins' bats here this evening.
8 hits for the Twins, and only 1 has been pulled, and that was Mauer pulling a 74-mile-per-hour breaking ball. 1 strike to Hicks. A little bit high, and it's 1-1. Cleveland still leads Kansas City 4-1 in the 7th inning. The Indians trying to stay at 500 and then have a little finishing kick here in the final weeks to have some postseason opportunity. Houston and Texas still tied at 1 starting the 5th.
That's why you look at Cleveland. They win the day. They're at 500. They're still in that wild card race. You know, you play 500 in the middle of September.
I don't know whether it will help the Twins, hurt the Twins, or not be a factor at all. But all the other wild card contenders right now are also involved in a division race, including the Yankees. The Astros lead Texas by a game and a half. The Angels had that heartbreaking loss on Saturday. They'll come here this weekend, play in Seattle. They've got to face the top 3 starters for the Mariners in that series before they arrive here. Dozier on deck, 3-2 to Hicks, and fouled away. But you know, you've got 3 teams in the American League West who are all fighting for a division championship and will settle if necessary for the wild card. You've got the Yankees and the Blue Jays in the same situation in the East, but in reality in the Central, the Royals have all but clinched a division. 20 games left. They've got a 10-game lead. Chopped to the right side, and a fair ball bounced right over the bag. Cabrera plays it for out number 2. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Boys and Girls Clubs help young people reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens through programs that promote character and leadership, education, healthy lifestyles, and more. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com. 2 down here in the 3rd, and now Dozier. Final tally, by the way, on the hits is 8. I had 9. My scorecard a little jumbled here. I had Dozier with a hit in the 2nd inning when in reality he walked.
Well, let's give him a hit anyway. What the heck?
Is a walk as good as a hit?
Sometimes, yes.
Sometimes, yes.
I think Brian would rather have the hit since he's at first anyway. Helps the old BA, batting average.
2-1. Three and 1 with Mauer on deck. is a very confident baseball team right now. The confidence that can only be instilled when you play good teams and have success. We looked at the last 2 road trips and we thought, oh boy, Yankees, Orioles, Tampa Bay with a great pitching staff. Houston's been a great story. Kansas City. Well, the Twins handled all of that with the exception of the Yankee series, I guess, in remarkably good shape. And Dozier takes a 2-out walk.
Yeah, second time Dozier has walked, so don't put down base hit. It's a walk.
It's a walk.
But you know what? I mean, even though they got swept to the Yankees a couple road trips ago, they didn't give up, and that's what guys like Torrey Hunter talk about. The guys on the team, they don't give up. They're fighters. And that's nice to hear a veteran like Torrey Hunter say that about the youngsters that he's surrounding himself around.
Talked about the incredible comeback the Twins had here right before the All-Star break against the Tigers and how that really sunk the Tigers. Unless the Orioles reemerge as wild card contenders, and they are 4 games under 500 right now. They will, when they get around to discussing such things, they will look at that 4-game series at home against the Twins when the Twins swept them in all 4 games as the turning point of their season. It's an Oriole team that won 94 games last year and won the American League East. 1-0 to Mauer, 2 hits, a double to left center and a single to right center. 2-0. I just can't tell much difference between Ryan and Lobstein. I don't think either one of them has anything that's going to overpower anybody.
No, Ryan more of a slinger than Lobstein. You can kind of see him step across his body and kind of sling the ball toward home plate.
There's a fastball in a good spot, 2-1.
Ryan originally signed by the Tigers back in 2010. 5 minor league seasons, mainly all starts in the minor leagues.
Driven to the corner but foul. Houston's taken a 2-1 lead over Texas in the 5th inning. For tonight and tonight only, it's okay to cheer for Houston. Depending on how that series goes, by the end of the series, you, as a Twins fan, may be cheering for Texas. That's the beauty of this. 2-2. And another foul back. Beautiful ballpark here. Commended Larry DeVito on how great this ballpark looks. Having had a lot of concert play and baseball play. And if the Twins get to postseason and are lucky enough to host some games, this ballpark will be ready. Gorgeous. And we get to be here for the next week and a half.
And we have a terrible view where we sit.
Yes, we do. There's Larry. It's not just getting this field ready for the major league team. Just think of all the baseball play, high school play, college play, and then concerts. Bauer with his 3rd hit. This one again to the opposite field. Dozier holding at second with 2 down. 3 for 3 for Mauer. And that'll bring Sano up with 2 men aboard.
Boy, you like to see that right there. Joe Mauer, you know, with Castellanos playing off the line, Joe getting that pitch away and just going with it. Ball too much of the plate right there, and Joe just hitting it into left field.
Sano with a walk and a run scored, an RBI single. You know things are going well when your cleanup hitter is up for the 3rd time in the 3rd inning. To left. A screaming liner, and making a basket catch is Moya in left. Twins put a couple of guys on base. They've left 7 men on, but they've also scored 6 times, and Tyler Duffy seems to have found whatever was missing in the 1st inning. Twins put up a 4, then a 2, so he's got a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, a couple walks in that first inning, and then the base hit, but then the big double play to end the first.
Cabrera on one pitch lifts a lazy fly ball to right. Torrey Hunter with the catch, 1 away. And that'll bring up J.D. Martinez.
Yeah, the Tigers had that doubleheader yesterday in Cleveland. They lost the first one, won the second one, but Cabrera was 0 for 9 in that doubleheader. That doesn't happen too often.
Still in great position to win his 4th American League batting title. When we got a shot at Joe Mauer at first base with Cabrera, you were looking briefly at 6 American League batting championships. Cabrera with a 20-point lead over Xander Bogaerts of the Red Sox in the batting race, if you can even call it that. But still 20 games to go and a lot can happen. 1-0 to J.D. Martinez. That's to center. Hicks going back, and that ball wobbling on him, and he made the catch. Buxton out in center field turned one way and then the other and got there in time.
Wow, that's where speed on right there helped Byron Buxton make another outstanding catch. This ball hit sharply. He goes back. You can see he has to spin around, and then with his speed able to reach out and snare that line drive catch. And a little smirk right there by Buxton.
Seen a couple times where it's as impossible as it is, it still seems like he can outrun the baseball. 2 down quickly. Here's Victor Martinez. Missing inside. No one can catch that. A rocket right over the pitching rubber. A 2-out single for Victor Martinez.
A second hit off of Duffy.
Paul Molitor said that Buxton was just taking runs away from the other guys with his speed. And a ball that was hit very sharply off the bat of J.D. Martinez sailed and with a little hooking action to straightaway center field, which is not something you see very often from a right-handed batter. But Buxton was able to make the adjustment. Ball 1. Castellanos struck out his first time up. Breaking ball over. This is
you asked me, Dick, about that first inning. He was battling his control a little bit, and you said in the second inning maybe that curveball got him going. Sometimes the night threw a lot of curveballs. When you have to slow yourself down, you kind of don't reach out as far as your landing foot to throw a good curveball. That sometimes slows up your fastball and your delivery.
Hunter in the corner makes the catch. We got a 21-year-old in center field covering the ground. We got a 40-year-old in right field covering the ground. Tyler Duffy with 4 shutout innings, but he's had a lot of help. now, something that will take some time, but we've seen him already cover a lot of ground in right. Buxton appears to be of the two, the designated center fielder. And then Rosario, who's not playing today because of the left-handed pitcher starting for Detroit. We've seen him play charge base hits so aggressively and then displaying a strong and accurate arm too. This is going to be a very good outfield for the Twins for a long time, or so it would appear. Don't want to take anything for granted, but my goodness, the sky's the limit for all three of those
and
guys.
You think as a former pitcher and as you're a pitcher, my goodness, just keep it in the ballpark. These guys are going to catch it somehow, some way.
2 strikes to Hunter. And another 2-strike foul. Hunter went down swinging on a soft off-speed offering.
Remember Devon White with the Angels and in Toronto? He was kind of what I think, you think of center fielders that could fly as far as first step and cover a lot of ground.
Gary Pettis. 1-2 to Hunter. Popped up down the right field line. J.D. Martinez has no play. Carsoup.com trivia question. You've had plenty of time to study, do your homework, prepare yourself for a good finishing kick on these questions.
I have been, yes.
On this date, 1968, Denny McLain won his 30th game of the season. Which team did he defeat? Check to swing. 2-2.
Yeah, I see. I'm still angry at Denny McLain and Bob Gibson and Don Drysdale. They're the ones that made the mound lower because of the '68 season. That mound where Ryan's standing on used to be 15 to 20 inches high with a drop off of.
Well, it's 15. It wasn't 20.
I don't know. In L.A. with Koufax, that was a pyramid of a mound. But it was also the drop off where your landing foot is.
Another foul by Hunter. He's having a long at bat against Ryan like he had against Sale yesterday.
There was no control. It's Ryan right here. Get that Vita Blue high leg kick.
Brushed his whiskers there. Little roller to third. Should be an easy play for Castellanos. And Hunter finally retired 2 down. Yeah, 1968 was the year of the pitcher. Drysdale had his long scoreless inning streak. Gibson had a 1.12 ERA. Yep. McLain won 31 games, right?
Yes.
So, baseball in its infinite wisdom.
Everything for the hitters. Go ahead. What did they do?
They lowered the mound to 10 inches and expanded, bringing in the Seattle Pilots and the Kansas City Royals. And the Montreal Expos. Here's a ball lifted to left and deep. Escobar.
You got it.
Up and back. And into the second deck. Escobar with his 11th home run of the year.
Every home run a new career high for Eduardo Escobar, and he knew it. I was watching his reaction at home plate. Another pitch down. And what's so great about Escobar, his home runs are coming from both sides of the plate. That's his 6th home run as a right-handed hitter, and 5 of them as a lefty. Watch his reaction right here. Ball down, golf shot.
If you can't throw it down there, where can you throw it as a pitcher?
You don't throw it to him down there.
Oh.
He has proven he likes it.
There's Suzuki. And a strike. First home run for the Twins here today. You'd expect, the way they've been hitting home runs lately, that with 7 runs on the board, they might have had a couple by now. But now 138 home runs in the 143rd game.
Escobar at 5'10", 175. They measure that home run at 403 feet. And that smile.
The way things are going, by season's end, the Twins will hit more home runs than the Tigers. The one thing that they have had in that lineup, the Tiger lineup, there's a strike on Suzuki, and that'll end the inning. And the Twins may have hit the most home runs of anybody in the American League Central. Escobar getting one in the fourth, and it's 7-0. Well,
go Vikings tonight.
Twins hoping to get to the postseason. The Vikings hoping to get back there. A lot of enthusiasm about the Timberwolves, the Wild. This drought that professional sports have had in Minnesota might be coming to an end. Check swing to Moya, and strike one, says Angel Hernandez.
Yeah, Moya just 24 years old, a September call-up for the second straight season. Had a good year between the single A and double A. Battled plantar in spring training. Fasciitis. But 35 games in the minor leagues this year, 23 home runs, 82 runs batted in.
Imagine being called up in September last year, and Tigers on their way to a division championship, going to the playoffs. And Moya on 3 pitches has gone quickly again.
Second time he has struck out, and fourth strikeout for Duffy.
Here's what we were talking about before, the Twins getting a home run from Escobar, and now 138 home runs on the season. The Tigers have 140. Cleveland, Chicago, Kansas City. I mean, this Twins team has done a lot of things better than they have in recent years, and they may end up this season as the most powerful team in the American League Central. And I don't know that anyone would have guessed that at the start of the year. A strike to James McCann. Injuries have something to do with that, and the Tigers have dealt with injuries to Victor Martinez and Miguel Cabrera, even though he might win a batting title. Cabrera has just 17 home runs when he's capable of hitting twice that many by this time. But the Twins have had Miguel Sano for only 2.5 months in their lineup.
And he's got 16 home runs. Well, McCann will always remember his first home run. That was hit here. Earlier this year, he hit the inside the park home run off of Aaron Thompson.
Just off the outside corner.
Good pitch there by Duffy.
Duffy almost had his second strikeout of the inning.
Well, fastball away. Suzuki trying to frame it.
Fox Tracks presented by Dodge. Now a tapper to Plouffe. And tried to backhand it. It may have taken a weird bounce on him, but it'll be an error on Plouffe.
Yeah, I think it hit right between the turf and the grass right there, or the dirt and the turf. And Trevor came in, tried to play it off to his right to make a good throw.
That's exactly what happened. It hit the edge of the grass and then picked up a little top spin and a longer bounce.
And they give Plouffe an error.
And now Andrew Romine. That's to left center field. Buxton running to the gap. This time off his glove and then away from Hicks. Running to third is McCann. Buxton nearly came up with his greatest catch in the big leagues, just off the tip of his webbing. It'll be a double for Romine.
Boy, with the view that we have, I thought that was a gapper the whole way, but Buxton closed that gap in between him and that baseball. Look how far he had to go for this ball. Dives for it and just comes up a bit short. Aaron Hicks has to retrieve it and get it back in right off the tip of the glove.
Now second and third, one down, and Anthony goes.
Romine getting a double, his 5th double of the year.
Goes with a walk, got as far as third base in the first inning, then he hit a tapper to Dozier. Twins will play the infield back, leading by 7 runs. Breaking ball on the outside corner. As we said regarding Kyle Gibson yesterday, you want to avoid situations like this. Gibson had 1 or 2 of those yesterday where one swing of the bat could have bitten into a big lead. And if Duffy can get out of this or keep these situations to a minimum. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Well, Dick, as a pitcher that was a strikeout pitcher, I want a strikeout right here. I want to preserve that shutout that I have going, even though it's only in the 5th inning. You also want to pick up your third baseman after the year. So Duffy, 2 straight curveballs. Can he pick up his 5th strikeout and make it 2 outs here this inning?
Got him on 3 pitches.
That's what you want right there. So a big strikeout right there, his 5th. Even though it's a 7-0 lead, you don't want to give up that run. You have a shutout going. And goes, chases a pitch way out of the strike zone. Not a very good swing.
So a couple of quick 3-pitch strikeouts in this inning. Moya leading off the inning, now Gose. And Kinsler will bat with 2 men aboard. Pop up to short and a liner to Hunter in right field. Breaking ball, which seems to be his go-to pitch.
Very tight rotation on that curveball.
Which must mean that it gets very late break.
Right. And if you, I think I mentioned the first inning, he was kind of flat. He's kind of straightened that out now. Good fastball right there. And it makes that fastball clocked at 93 look about 96, 97. As high as 93, the last pitch right there to Kinsler, as low as 75.
Oh, 2 to Kinsler. And Kinsler almost bit on the breaking ball.
See, he threw that curveball a little bit harder, had a bigger, flatter break than that downward curveball. Like to get Kinsler right here with Cabrera on deck.
He's blocked by Suzuki, and it's 2-2.
And that's where you're facing more of a veteran hitter like Kinsler over Gose. Gose, you know, he struck him out on 3 curveballs. Kinsler right here, he's had so many at bats, he's not even going to bite at that. good block by Suzuki.
2-2. Kinsler with over 5,000 major league at bats. Bounced foul wide of third.
You can go fastball in on Kinsler because of the curveball that he has shown he can get over. And if you're going to go in, you want to throw it above the belt to Kinsler.
2-2. Bouncer to first. Bauer gathers it in.
Good job.
Nice job of pitching out of a jam by Tyler Duffy. 5 shutout innings against the Tigers.
Paul and Kathy, who are celebrating their 30th anniversary tonight. They are from Hunter, North Dakota, just north of Fargo. And you just said that for the 3rd year in a row, you have chosen a Twins game as your anniversary gift. Why is that?
We just love coming to Twins games. We thought, why not celebrate our anniversary here?
And how have the Twins done on your anniversary?
Very well.
Very well.
Very well.
So you need to keep coming every year, obviously.
Definitely. Definitely.
How many people live in Hunter, North Dakota?
350? 350?
And 348 of them, obviously, are watching the game tonight.
I hope so.
All right, Dick and Bert, our winners for tonight.
Congratulations. Happy anniversary as Byron Buxton flies out to left field for the first out. You are both hereby circled.
Hunter right on Highway 29 about, looks like, Hunter is right on Highway 18, I beg your pardon, a little bit north of Arthur. And it looks like if you wanted to go
That's a great movie, Arthur.
If you wanted to go to Cooperstown and didn't want to go all the way to New York, you can go to Cooperstown, North Dakota, and it's about a half hour, I guess, from Hunter.
Wow.
On the ground, left side, and a base hit for Hicks. Buxton hit the ball fairly hard for an out. Now Hicks quickly with a single, his second hit of the ball game.
Yeah, reached out on a breaking ball, looked out, and hit it past the third baseman in the left field. Twins with their 11th hit in the ball game.
Dozier doesn't have a hit, but he's walked twice, scored once. Texas has taken a lead on Houston 3-2 in the 6th inning. The things are so fluid in the playoff picture in terms of who's leading the divisions outside the American League Central, of course. And the Yankees were fighting for the division lead with Toronto, but then Toronto took 3 out of 4 over the weekend. And similarly, Houston's really struggled. They had the big comeback win against the Houston Street and the Angels a couple nights ago, actually just yesterday. Ball hit to short. See if they can get 2, 1 and 2, and that takes care of the Twins in the 5th. On to the 6th, where they lead at 7-0. Trevor Plouffe starting the scoring. The Twins have added on runs. Eduardo Escobar with an RBI single and a solo home run. 11 hits, 7 runs. Tyler Duffy with 5 shutout innings and a 7-0 lead. And it'll be Miguel Cabrera leading off the 6th, then the 2 Martinez's. Strike 1. Cabrera, his last at bat, hit a fly ball to right on the first pitch. There's the batting race. Michael Brantley now ahead of Xander Bogaerts. Cleveland leading Kansas City 7-3 as they hope to get back to the 500 mark. The challenge for the Twins is to get into the tournament, get into the 5-team playoff field in the American League. A breaking ball missing inside 2-1. And the division leaders have and should have a distinct advantage over the wild card teams come the postseason. Somebody's going to get to the postseason and play just one game. At least that's my belief. You like the wild card format now as opposed to the way it was before, where the wild card teams were basically on equal footing with the division champions.
I like the added wild card. I really do. It creates excitement. Look what the Twins are doing right now. You know, along with Texas and the Angels and Cleveland, and there's 4 or 5 clubs that are still in this thing. In a National League, it looks like, the wild card's going to come out of the Central Division, the Pirates and the Cubs.
Mm-hmm. All 3, I mean, the division champion and then the 2 wild cards.
Yeah, St. Louis Cardinals leading, but Pirates hanging in there.
Just missed inside with Duffy trying to sneak a front door breaking ball over for a called third strike.
A couple times he's tried that curveball on the inside, and Cabrera kind of backed away and just a bit inside.
See, Suzuki's target was down and away. 3-2. Deep to right field. Hunter retreating in the corner. Room to make the catch. One away. And Cabrera looks out at his former teammate saying, that's twice you've done that to me. Follow live Twins baseball every day with MLB.com @bat on your smartphone or tablet. You can stay connected to the Twins all season with MLB.TV Game of the Day, in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, and more. Browse the app's new features, including StatCast tracking videos and bilingual access for Spanish-speaking fans. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball. One down in the 6th. J.D. Martinez, big swing and a miss. Singled sharply to right to fill the bases in the 1st, and then lined out to Buxton in the 4th. Despite the disappointment surrounding the Tiger organization, this has been a bright spot. J.D. Martinez. He's taken over the cleanup spot. He's among the league leaders in home runs and runs batted in. He's hitting for a good average.
Boy, he was a good pickup, a great pickup by the Tigers last year when he was released by the Astros and signed with the Tigers in late spring training.
Just out of the reach of Escobar, and another hit.
They had a lot of injuries with the Astros. That's why they decided to part ways with him, and he's been pretty healthy since he was in the Tiger organization. Last year hit .315 in 123 ball games and hitting over .300 coming into this ball game.
And Escobar just couldn't quite grab it. You know, sometimes that's what gives a player a new start. Frustration in an organization because of injuries. It's pretty much what happened to David Ortiz here in Minnesota. Twins liked his promise, liked his potential. I don't know that anyone thought he was going to join the 500 home run club as he has, but he was hurt so much as a Twin. Here's Victor Martinez. Got a single his last time up, breaking an 0 for 21 skid. Outside corner, 1-1.
You know, I like what Neil Allen and Paul Molitor did, switching Gibson, having Gibson pitch in Chicago against maybe not the Tigers, but against the White Sox, where he's had very good success. Because Gibson against the Tigers have had pretty good numbers against Gibson. So instead, it's Tyler Duffy that was pushed back and getting this opportunity.
Martinez ready for something inside. He got it and hit it a long way, but foul. Too many foul balls have landed in there. One and 2 to Victor Martinez. And Duffy got him to bounce into a double play in the 1st, and he struck him out in the 6th.
Well, we're talking about the tight break of that curveball. That's got to be pretty tight right there to get Martinez to swing like he did right here. He missed that fastball, hooked it foul, and then you see the tight break. And we talked about it earlier. Martinez doesn't strike out too often.
2 down now, and Castellanos will bat.
Strikeout number 6 for Duffy.
One of the reasons the Twins pushed Duffy back a couple of days, swing and a miss again on a breaking ball, because he's getting up there in terms of innings pitched. And the Twins are a little concerned about him. It's the reason Jose Barrios is not here with the big club, because his pitch limit, or innings pitched limit, had been reached.
138 innings in the minor leagues for Duffy. With the 5 2/3 innings so far here tonight.
Right center and deep. Hunter hoping for a bounce. It hits the warning track and then bounces. J.D. Martinez will be held at 3rd. So it's a double for Castellanos. And the Tigers again have runners at 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, Duffy's right about 175 innings pitched this year.
So you get the sense that the Twins are going series to series with their rotation.
Yeah, fastball that Castellanos just took it the other way to deep right field. J.D. Martinez held up at 3rd base by 3rd base coach Dave Clark. as the Twins get the ball back in.
Moya has struck out twice against Duffy, I think on 6 pitches, and at least 5 of them have been curveballs. So in this situation, he's probably going to get some more curveballs.
Keep throwing it until he shows that you're going to at least make contact. There's a curveball. You can see the big swing by Moya. He does have tremendous power, but he does strike out a lot, even in the minor leagues. Struck out about once every 3 at-bats in the minors.
I'll buy you lunch tomorrow if the next pitch isn't a curveball. I believe the young man has struck out 3 times on 9 pitches, and at least 8 of them have been curveballs. Duffy pitches out of a jam again. Joe Mauer's got a 3-hit night going. He'll look for number 4 when we come back. One at your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. 7-0, Twins in front. And Joe Mauer has 3 of the Twins' 11 hits. An opposite field double in the first, a single to right in the second, and then an opposite field single in the third. Mauer, Sano, and Plouffe. Ryan was considered for this start, but instead the Tigers went with Lobstein, and Ryan ended up picking up the game in the second inning anyway.
Yeah, Ryan's given up 4 hits, just the home run to Escobar.
Tapper right side, hit right to Kinsler. 1 down. As promised earlier in the game, we've selected the Data Strong Fan photo of the game. You can tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag #NorthDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Minneapolis skyline in the background. A lot of pictures taken from this ballpark in the next week and a half. Here's Miguel Sano. A walk, a run scored in the first, an RBI single up the middle in the second. Then he hit a liner, a sinking liner to Moya in left field in the third. foul. 0-2. Just missed the inside corner with a fastball. High fastball gets a swing and a miss. 2 down.
And strikeout number 3 in a ball game for Kyle Ryan.
Join Fox Sports North and the Minnesota Wild for the breakaway 10K, 5K, and 1 mile run Saturday. This Saturday, benefiting the Minnesota Wild Foundation. All participants receive a t-shirt and are qualified to win 2 sweet tickets for the Wild Oilers game Saturday, September 26th. For more information, visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on upcoming events on the Hot Topics bar. 2 down, and here's Plouffe. A good, measured veteran at bat in the first inning. Getting a double off the right field fence. To start the scoring. Two strikes to Plouffe. Astros have tied the Rangers at 3. A game in the 7th inning.
The Astros came into that ball game a 1.5 lead over the Rangers.
Jam shot and a 1-hopper to Kinsler. And it's a 1-2-3-6 for Ryan.
Couple days ago in Chicago, but good offense here early on for the Twins, giving Tyler Duffy a big lead. Escobar with his 11th home run, that coming in the 4th inning to make it 7-0. And Tyler Duffy has been outstanding. 7 strikeouts in a ball game. He's allowed only 5 hits, 3 singles, a couple doubles. Starting the 7th inning with 86 pitches.
I think the Twins would be quite content if he can finish an orderly 7th inning here. Twins were able to use their bullpen yesterday at will, using who they wanted to use. There's a ball blasted to center field. Buxton back. And it takes a weird carom, and McCann will try for 3. And he will get there with a leadoff triple. Hit to the deepest part of the park. And not too far from where that inside the park home run he hit hit the center field fence here at Target Field.
Well, you can't hit it any further in this ballpark, Target Field, without it going over the fence or out, because it hit at the 411 mark. The door, right there, the bullpen door, McCann is knocking at the door on this long fly ball. And it ricochets back toward right field.
Boy, it hit the middle one.
Yep.
You know, the middle number, 411. So now Duffy, who pitched around a threat in the 5th. Tigers had 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. And then in the 6th, 2nd and 3rd and 2 out. Has a runner at 3rd, nobody out here in the 7th. And a chopper foul, 1-1. Romine hit a double his last time up. The Tigers' brilliant shortstop Jose Iglesias was hit by a pitch, cracked a finger. He's going to be out for another week and a half or so.
Yeah, his right middle finger.
Inside, 2-1. Beginnings of activity in the Twins bullpen. Neil Kotz, Casey Fiend. As we get to that part of the game, Paul Molitor said that Glenn Perkins had a 31 pitch bullpen session. Everything felt fine. They were going to try to have one more session, assuming that Glenn feels okay tomorrow, maybe have him pitch again Wednesday, so he'd be available in some capacity this weekend. 2-2. Checked his swing, and it's a full count. Duffy has just 2 walks, and they came in the first 3 plate appearances. And it might have been a case of nothing more than him having a little extra rest and feeling a little rusty, at least not having the command early on that he would like to have.
Well, you want to throw a strike right here. Whether it's a fastball. Yep.
Roller to first, a run will score. And Duffy to the bag at 7-1.
Yeah, you lose your shutout right there because of the leadoff triple. The last thing you want to do is walk the number 9 hitter, so you got to challenge him right there. Romine picks up his RBI, his 14th of the year.
Where are you, Marty Gelner?
I'm just hanging out in the press box for now, but I did want to give you a Sanford Health injury report on Glenn Perkins. He did throw the 31 pitches today, and he said he got stronger as he went along, and he called it a good first step. Said everything seems to be moving better. The stiffness is gone. He said the second half of the pitches that he threw actually felt better than the first half. All of it's a good sign. He plans to see how he feels tomorrow, probably throw another bullpen on Wednesday, and hopefully be ready to pitch again for the Twins by the end of this week.
Well, the Twins will welcome him back. It'll be interesting to see how they fold him into the bullpen roles, because I think Kevin Jepson's done such a good job out there. They'll be very cautious about disrupting that.
Yeah, base hit up the middle right there by Goes. He gets his first hit, but I did talk to Neil Allen about that, and don't be surprised if you know, like he did last time out, just kind of work the 6th or 7th inning. Not going to get that closer role because Jepson has done a great job.
Paul Molitor coming out, he's going to make a change, and that will allow the Target Field fans here to give Tyler Duffy a well-deserved round of applause.
A whale of an outing right there for Tyler Duffy. Very nice. Great baseball fans appreciate the good efforts of Tyler Duffy.
In a pennant race, he came up with a good one here tonight and leaves the ball game with the Twins leading by 6. Former Tiger coming on in relief of Tyler Duffy was very good tonight.
Yeah, he was. He worked out of some situations, especially in the 5th and 6th inning. But all in all, an outstanding effort by Duffy. 7 strikeouts, couple walks, like you mentioned, Dick, in the 1st inning. But he went right after the Tigers. A very good hitting ball club and had a very, very nice start.
So now he'll watch as Fiend tries to clean up the rest of the 7th inning. Tigers are on the board, and the veteran hitters are up now, starting with Kinsler. Pulled foul, 1 strike.
Yeah, Casey, a former Detroit Tiger, making his 55th relief appearance for the Twins. Excellent control, doesn't walk anybody. Very aggressive on the mound.
One strike. High fly to short left. A long run for Hicks, but he gets it crossing the foul line for out number 2. Talk about the range of this Twins outfield and the speed out there with Buxton and Hicks and sometimes Rosario, and we think about the fair balls, the balls hitting the gap. But that was a long run for Hicks to get to that foul fly.
Well, how'd you like to see those guys in Oakland, huh?
With all that foul territory.
To get that in, you know.
Haven't said that in what, 2.5 weeks?
No, I
At least not on TV. I don't know. Maybe Gail's got to hear you say that every other day.
She's tired of me hearing that. Saying it.
Come in from cutting the grass. Boy, I'm glad I don't live in Oakland with all that foul territory. Here's Cabrera. And down and away a ball. 2-0. Jeff Farrell trying to warm up. Going to catch the ball and the return throw from the catcher first. Two and 0 from Fiend to Cabrera. And now 3-0 with J.D. Martinez on deck.
I said Casey doesn't walk too many batters, just 6 walks in 54, now 55 innings pitched.
And you want to avoid multi-runner situations here when you got a 6-run lead. 3-0. There's a strike. Cabrera is ready to toss the bat away. And there's ball 4. Fiend walks Cabrera. Very dangerous hitter. The Tigers already have 1 run on the board here and 2 men on for the top power threat on the team. Zubas Palooza returning to Target Field. It's a special offer that includes a reserved seat for the game on Friday, October 2nd, when the Twins take on the Kansas City Royals, plus your very own limited edition Minnesota Twins Zubas pants. Take advantage of the special offer, available exclusively by logging on to twinsbaseball.com/Zubas. Strike 1 to J.D. Martinez.
Yeah, that's a better start right there for Fiend. He fell behind Cabrera, ended up walking him.
Fouled back, 2 strikes.
Fiend, everything hard. Fastball, hard cutter. Tried to mix in that slow curveball earlier this year, but you know it's hard as a reliever to work on a pitch. When you come into a ball game, you don't want to end up maybe getting hurt on your 3rd best pitch. So basically it's fastball, cutter, down and away. That's where Suzuki sits. Yeah, boy, good pitch, and Fiend thought it was strike 3.
Started toward the dugout. It's called a ball, 1-2.
Wow.
Very close. Fox Tracks presented by Carrier.
That's a strike. I said the same thing at home.
And off the end of the bat, a foul ball.
Fiend signing with the Tigers back in 2006. Pitched for him a little bit in 2009 and 10. And then in January of 2012 signed as a free agent by the Twins in his 4th season.
Got him on a fastball tailing away at 94 miles per hour. Tigers get one. Leave 2 in the 7th at 7-1. In Minnesota. Only in Minnesota can you find pleasant temperatures, changing leaves, providing a colorful backdrop. Browse the sports events calendar on exploreminnesota.com to find even more fall running fun and events. You can share and tag your Minnesota experiences with hashtag #OnlyInMN. Detroit Lakes, Walker, Ely, Mankato, Bemidji, and the Twin Cities, of course, all host full marathons in September and October. Big draw for spectators. I would be a spectator rather than a marathon runner. Now, I know in your playing career, you were a big runner between starts, but what was the longest distance you ran at any time?
A marathon, 10-mile marathon.
Marathons are 26.2 miles.
No, not the big marathon. The 10-miler.
10 mile? Now, are we talking
miles.
10 mile or 10K?
No, not 10K, 10 miles.
You ran 10 miles. For what purpose?
It was a fundraiser.
Okay, and you made it.
And I made it, yeah. Well, I stopped along the way.
Well, I think that defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
Well, no, not everybody runs a marathon or a 10K or a 10-mile race just to, run the whole time. There's little bars you have to stop along the way.
How long was your break that you took?
It took me 2 days to get it, but I did a pretty good job. I thought.
That's right.
I finished.
See, now you leave that part out, don't you?
Well, I did finish. Nobody was there when they had all gone and went home, but I did finish.
So you can legitimately tell people you ran 10 miles.
Yeah.
But you don't tell them the part. Swing and a miss.
No.
You don't tell them the part where you stopped and had lunch.
No. I don't think that's anybody's business.
Hunter with a 3-2 count. Facing Farrell. And a ball driven foul. Hunter, Escobar, and Suzuki. Well, I'm impressed, or at least I was till you gave me the full details. I got up to like 4 miles at a time. That's the most I've ever run at one time.
I think mine was kind of a mile at a time. That's why it took me a couple days.
You'd be good at the Boston Marathon. You started in May. You'd be done by Labor Day. And Hunter rips a single to left. Second hit of the ball game for Torrey. And he's aboard leading off the 7th.
Yeah, Farrell making his 5th appearance in his second stint here, September call-up by the Tigers. Came up in July for about a week, sent back down, and then recalled in early September.
And now Eduardo Escobar struck out looking in the first inning. Pretty convinced that it was not a strike that he took for the 3rd strike, and then an RBI single in the 2nd. Then he planted one in the 2nd deck, a solo home run in the 4th. Cleveland beat Kansas City 8-3.
Yeah, Farrell just 24 years old, signed by the Tigers in 2010.
And Cabrera fires one to second. Return throw. Nice 3-6-3 double play.
Very nice turn. Second double play turned by the Tigers in this ball game. Escobar hit it sharply. Cabrera spun around. Good hard throw over to Romine, and then the relay throw getting Escobar.
And now Kurt Suzuki. Suzuki with an RBI single in the 1st. Since then, a ground ball to short and a swinging strikeout. Was looking for win number 75 on the season and a liner. Hit well, but caught by Romine, and the Twins are done in the 7th inning.
Mauer collected the 1,000th hit of his major league career. He singled in the first inning off John Danks to become the 11th player in Twins history to reach that milestone.
And it won't happen this year, probably won't happen next year, but Joe on track to get his 2,000th hit, 3 of them coming tonight.
Yeah, Joe Mauer in his first at-bat, an RBI, a double. That moved Hicks over to third a little later, and then a base hit in the 2nd inning, and then added another single in the 3rd.
And Joe now with 1,682 hits in his big league career. Here's Casey Fiend to start the 8th inning. Twins have the luxury of playing with some big leads here, and yesterday's game and so far here in tonight's game. You'll face Victor Martinez. Remember at the start of the year, Paul Molitor expressed interest in hoping to extend the starting pitchers, but extending the relief pitchers too, where Fiend perhaps in other years would be asked to get through the 7th, somebody would start the 8th. Now we're starting to see that a few more times here in the month of September.
Yeah, I talked about Casey Fiend last inning, basically fastball cutter, but he started Martinez off with that curveball for strike 1, then missed with a little cutter away.
Pop up, short right. Dozier's out in the outfield grass anyway. And he'll make the catch. Victor Martinez retired. Tyler Duffy might win his 3rd game of his big league career. Right now he's with Marty Gellner.
Tyler, it was a bit of a struggle for you to get out of the first, but then you cruised. What was the adjustment from the first inning on?
I think it was just, that extra time off. I mean, a lot of times I try not to let it get to me, but it's one of those things, the feel, you just got to get back into it. I was a little bit wild on the fastball, and then I think I settled in after that.
And once the Twins put up 4 runs in that first inning, how big was that for you to come back in the second and strike out the side?
It was good. It makes it really easy to attack guys, go after them and get that first pitch strike and get some quick innings to get them back in the dugout.
Good 6 1/3. Congrats on that tonight.
Thank you.
Guys?
Yeah, thank you, Marty. That's nice that the players will, after you start like that, you have the opportunity, or Marty did, to talk to them. That's very, very nice. I tip my hat to the players that do that.
Down the right field line, Hunter with a long run, and it's back in the seats.
And this copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC. See, I read that at home, too, while I was watching the ball.
As you say, it's like riding a bike. You just get right back on and go.
Yeah, it drove Gail crazy, too. But that's what I'm all about, driving her crazy.
1-1.
And now I'm here to drive you crazy.
And I got that to look forward to. Castellanos with a double his last time up. And up and away, 2-2. Bruce Rondon trying to get loose in the bullpen. Looks like he's struggling with that.
Looks like that hurts. Does it hurt when you do that? Well, don't do that.
Fouled back, 2-2.
Castellanos already in his 3rd season with the Tigers, just 23 years old. Tigers' #1 pick back in 2010.
Yankees beat Tampa Bay. Baltimore beat Boston. On the outside corner, and Castellanos knew it.
Yeah, you're looking for something else right there, and Casey Fiend picks up his 2nd strikeout in relief.
Carsoup.com trivia question involves 1968. Which team did he defeat?
I'm going to throw out a team, Oakland. Oh, my goodness. Oakland.
Okay.
Guess what? He went
explain?
9 innings.
Yeah. Okay. And you know that how?
My research.
Strike 1. Moya getting a breaking ball on the outside corner. In his first 3 at bats, he saw 10 pitches. The first one was a ball, 9 straight strikes, 7 of those curveballs. And there's another one.
He's going to get a lot of breaking balls.
So just discount the first pitch that Duffy threw him in the second inning. He's seen 11 pitches, all of them strikes. And he's, since that first pitch, struck out as quickly as you possibly can.
Well, they're going to go fastball up. And it was up. In the minor leagues this year, struck out 175 times in 540 at-bats. And there's the Uncle Charlie.
Look at a cutter on the outside corner. 4 strikeouts for Moya on a total of 14 pitches.
Now reached base in 34 consecutive games. How Joe has led the offense tonight. Plus Tyler Duffy battling through a first inning that was a little bit rough, but he managed to get through it and then go 6 1/3. Jack Morris will have reaction and analysis from that. And Paul Molitor on a great start to a long homestand here for the Twins. It's all coming up next on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. Dick and Bert.
Worth turning into. Thank you, Marnie. Byron Buxton will lead things off here in the 8th inning against Bruce Rondon.
Yeah, Rondon making his 31st relief appearance.
Outside, ball 1.
16 walks, 35 strikeouts in 26 innings pitched. Hard throwing right-hander in his second season with the Tigers. Went through the Tommy John surgery back in 2014.
1-0. Buxton is 0 for 3, but small silver lining. He's made contact all 3 times. Hit the ball fairly hard his last time up. Two and 0. Hicks and Dozier will follow. Strike call. Tigers want to see Rondon get some save opportunities, and in the absence of Joaquin Soria traded and Joe Nathan hurt. Popped up, foul, it'll reach the seats. Rondon has 4 saves. Neftali Feliz has got 7, but he's really struggled since coming over to the Tigers.
Yeah, kind of moving that right arm around a lot. Now, last time he pitched was back on the 8th of September. So it's been a while between outings.
2 and 2. Chopper. And Romine's got to hurry. Safe. If the ball touches the ground 3 times on the infield, it's a base hit, and a lot of times it'll touch the ground just twice and still be a base hit.
And that's what excites, I think, Tom Bernansky and the Twins, if just make contact. That ball kind of beat right in front of home plate by the time Romine. You can't play it any better than Romine did right there. And you see the Buxton speed out of that batter's box down that first baseline, how quick he can get there.
They're going to come out and check on Rondon. We saw him in the bullpen shaking his arm like he was having a tough time getting loose. And there's been, as you pointed out, more of that since he's entered the game.
Well, if there's anything wrong right there, there's no need for him to be out there. He's trying to, sounds like he's trying to convince him that he's okay. Rondon from Venezuela. Tigers signed him back in 2007.
Looked like Cabrera was trying to translate for Rondon. And from English back to Spanish, it might have been, well, if you're fine, then don't bend your arm like a pretzel.
Right.
Buxton aboard with an infield hit, and now Hicks, he's got a pair of hits.
Remember in Buxton's second at bat against Ryan, he hit that high chopper that Ryan had to leap for. That ball gets over his head. It's an infield base hit for him too.
And Hicks takes a strike on the outside corner at 100 miles per hour. At 99, a ball.
Rondon this year spent some time on a disabled list with that bicep tendonitis.
Another slow chopper. And Buxton gets ahead of Kinsler to reach second base. Hicks retired.
We saw him in the bullpen right there. Still, you can see him coming into the ball game, kind of stretching that arm out, kind of shaking it right there.
Well, something doesn't seem to be right, but yet he talked himself into staying in the game.
He's a big man, 6'3". They list him at 275 pounds. Very solid.
Rangers got a 2-run home run from Prince Fielder. They lead Houston now 5-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Rangers, I don't think, are too concerned right now about the wild card race. They're after the Astros in the battle for Texas in this 4-game series. And it could very well be that by this weekend the Twins will be challenging or trying to catch the Astros in a wild card spot instead of the Rangers. 1-1 to Dozier. 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. And then there's the Seattle Angels series. Seattle leading the Angels 3-1 in the second inning. And the Angels, who had that heartbreaking loss yesterday, now have to face Taijuan Walker, Felix Hernandez, and Hisashi Iwakuma in the Seattle series.
It's been a struggle for the Angels just to hover around 500.
And then they come here for 4. 1-2 to Dozier. A drive to left. Moya back. And he makes a catch on the warning track for out number 2. Twins and the Angels square off at Target Field here this weekend, starting Thursday night, 17th through the 20th. Thursday night is a Thirsty Thursday, featuring happy hour from 5:30 to 6:30, including deeply discounted beverages and appetizers at select Target Field locations. Saturday, a DQ Sensational Saturday. Sunday, a Super America Not Whole Kids Day. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com and get your tickets today. Here is Mauer with 3 hits. And I guess that's kind of been the story of Joe's season. That's been odd. Another way that it has been odd. 3-hit game for Mauer was so commonplace a few years ago when he was winning batting championships, and now he goes 3 for 3, and you realize we haven't seen that for a while.
That's the 5th time this season he's had a 3-hit ball game. Only once he's had a 4-hit game.
And his first inning double, a significant one. There was 1 on, 1 out. Joe fell behind, drove a double to left center field, and before the inning was out, the Twins had 4 runs. Pitches up 2-0.
Tell you what, if Rondon's arm is hurting him, it doesn't show on the speed gun.
No.
99, 100 miles an hour.
Joe with most of his hits going to center field and to left field. Rifle shot to left, caught by Moya. Another well hit ball, but an out. The Twins are done in the 8th. Seven to 1, Twins in front. Neil Kotz will try to finish things off here with the Twins looking for win number 75.
Yeah, Neil last pitched on Wednesday in Kansas City. A couple 2 2/3 innings shutout baseball in that Twins 12 inning 3-2 win, making his 9th relief appearance. Is joining the Twins back on August 21st from the Milwaukee Brewers.
James McCann will lead things off. McCann with a triple leading off the 7th inning, hit it off the 4-11 marker in center field, and then he later scored on a ground ball for the only Tiger run. Up and away, ball 1. In yesterday's comfortable win over the White Sox, and if this in fact is a comfortable win tonight, look at Hicks in right, Robinson back with the ball club. He's in left, and Buxton staying in center. Hunter out of the game. Twins will look upon the last 2 games. A pitch down and away.
Good fastball there.
Now 1 and 2. Valuable time off for the likes of Jepson and May. the two guys along with Glenn Perkins, three guys that the Twins figure to ride a lot in the final 3 weeks in close ball games. Snap bat, a little pop up. Escobar with the catch, one away. All night games except for Sunday afternoon. The rest of the way we'll be out here again tomorrow. Alfredo Simon will go for the Tigers. And Phil Hughes off the disabled list, probably about 75 pitches, Paul Molitor says. The Twins hope that'll be 5, maybe 6 innings.
Yeah, Phil Hughes, with that back injury, hopefully he will be a big part of the last 19 games starting tomorrow. Get these Twins players in the postseason. Yeah, we kind of highlighted in the pregame about the relievers, how well they have pitched, especially coming into this ball game. Last 5 ball games, 16 1/3 innings, only 2 earned runs allowed. Good job by Casey Thien tonight, an inning and 2/3 of shutout baseball.
I think the method behind the madness, not madness, but the reason you Paul Molitor is trying to get relievers to pitch a fraction of an inning and then another inning is a game like this. Thien came in to pick up Duffy and get the last 2 outs of the 7th. Then he pitched the 8th. And now you can hopefully get a win here. And oh my, into the Twins dugout. And who did it hit? Hopefully no one.
Looked like right over the head of Torrey Hunter. Miguel Sano right there.
Oh my goodness. And that came in and out of the dugout so fast. Thankfully, it didn't hit anybody. It went through the screen. Wow. And now a foul tip. Strike 3. And Romine is out. My goodness. What a dangerous moment that was. 2 down.
Best thing baseball did was, because of these new fields that are so close to the playing field, they put those screens in front of the dugouts.
I don't know how they didn't hit somebody. 2 down. And now Anthony goes. Swing and a miss. Anyway, you can get through a game like this with 3 pitchers instead of 4 or 5, and then what does that mean to the freshness of your bullpen over the next 3 weeks?
Well, you got Phil Hughes, who's on a pitch count tomorrow. That's, hopefully he can go 5 good innings, and then you turn it over to the bullpen.
Meaning that, again, May and Jepson, Dunsing, whoever else the Twins might want to use. Boyer, yeah. One and one.
Ooh. I like the most about the wind down of the Twins this year. 20 games left. Win here. How well they played here at Target Field. With a win here tonight, they will be 43 and 26 at home. It's good to have that hometown magic happening again.
And counting tonight's game, 13 of the last 20 will be played here. And another foul. Twins hope to go to 33 and 28 against American League Central teams.
Crowd of 17,833 here tonight.
Breaking ball, little nubber. Suzuki and Kotz each called each other off. And goes, who might have been safe anyway, the way he runs, gets an infield hit.
Yeah, the only opportunity there is maybe for Suzuki, because he had his momentum at least turn to throw to first. But right here, kind of a swinging bunt. You can see Akatsu kind of getting in the way of Suzuki right there. He was ready to pick it up, and then It's an infield base hit. Gets his second hit of the ball game.
Hey, one quick note: the Chattanooga Lookouts won their game today, so they advance to the Southern League playoffs. Cedar Rapids Colonels are already in the Midwest League Championship round. Inside, ball one. Doesn't impact the Twins in any way, but David Robertson and the White Sox bullpen has collapsed tonight. Oakland with 4 runs in the ninth, and it's tied at 7. To right field, hanging in the air. Aaron Hicks is there to end the game, and the Twins open up this homestand with a convincing win.
Well, good starting pitching, timely hitting early. 4 runs put on the board by the Twins on the bottom of the first, and they coast to a 7-1 victory.
And Anthony LaPanta, the season started in Detroit, and the Tigers looked like they were going to be world beaters this year, but now the Twins have beaten them 4 straight times here at Target Field, and sets up another important game, of course, tomorrow.
They've beaten them in one-sided fashion. They've scored 31 runs in those 4 consecutive wins over the Tigers. Joe Mauer led the way tonight. We'll hear from Paul Molitor. We'll preview the rest of the series, all coming up next on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink.